know the news, and you keep the facts. My name's Jake, don't ask my last name, and this is...
My name is Joe, don't ask the last name.
Now, in today's episode, I survey physics theories involving parallel universes.
Wait a minute, Jake, that's from next week.
Oh, just from next week. Now, for today's topic, we're going to be talking about change.
Speaking of change, I've been changed for underwear in 1 week.
Let's turn inside out.
Okay.
Now, on the actual topic of change, we're going to be interviewing an incredible man named Paul.
Speaking of Paul, I have an uncle named Paul who goes out in the forest on full moons and wrestles bears. But when there's no full moon, he wrestles cats.
Now, we aren't talking about that Paul. We're talking about the Paul that used to be named Saul. Now, wait a minute. We have information from our fact checkers. Last episode, we said kidney cancer can be cured by drinking gasoline and tomato juice. This is not true.
Not.
And now, before we get into our interview with Saul, let's just go back to the weather.
To the weather.
Thanks for inviting me to the news, Jake. Now, on for the weather. In the McDonald's Islands, we have about 43 degrees Fahrenheit predicted for today. Also, there's an alert. If you live anywhere between the continent of Russia and America, there are loose tigers. Do not worry, they only eat humans. Meanwhile, on the topic of alerts, Australia, the entire continent, has been kidnapped by aliens. Wait a minute, I'm getting news. All of Australia has not been kidnapped by aliens. You are fine. The tigers are still very real, though. Now, back to me with the news. Thanks for the weather, Jake. Now we're going to go on to our man on the street, reporting some important information. Thank you to the man on the street for reporting my important information. Arguably the most incredible thing I've heard in my whole lifetime. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to forget that. I mean, hasn't it impacted you?
Oh, so I need to tell my family about that important information. Hello? Get out of town.
I mean, honestly, I will be forever changed by that.
Yes.
And it's going to be hard to focus on this interview after what you just heard, but we do have a very important interview with Paul.
Speaking of Paul, I have an uncle named
We
Paul.
don't need to hear your uncle.
I have a cat named Paul, by the way. He's a very good cat, except for he bites my face when I'm sleeping.
That is true. So anyway, we're going to go on to our interview with Paul. Welcome to our interview with Paul. Now, as for Paul, wait, where's Paul?
Wait,
Didn't you have the
I
directions?
thought you had the directions.
Why don't we just ask where
Let
you
me
said?
just talk to him really quick. Hello. Paul? Oh, he said to meet him at McDonald's, not McDonald's Island.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
let's-
Now we'll be back to you with Paul.
Let's go find him.
Welcome back to the McDonald's. We're now in the right place to interview Paul.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, hey, is that you, Paul?
Is your name Paul?
I am. Who are you guys?
Here.
Oh, we're here to interview you.
Yeah.
Would you mind
Oh,
telling us
yeah, I
your
love
last
an
story?
interview.
All right. What's your last story? Where are you?
Oh man, let me tell you, okay? When I was born, and the first thing I was given was a rock and a Snickers bar. And they told me, which one do you choose? And you know what I chose?
Which one?
I chose the rock.
Oh.
I've been choosing rocks ever since.
Oh.
So people often refer to me as the Rock, but
Wait
some
a
other
minute.
guy took that name, whatever. But
Wait a minute. Did you used to be named Saul?
no, why would I be named Saul? My name is Paul, spelled with 3 P's.
Wait a minute.
I think we have the wrong
I don't
name.
think-
Wait, I recognize you.
It's great to see you. We somehow got lost on
I gave
an island.
this guy, Joseph, the directions,
No.
and then he calls me from some island called McDonald's Island. Who knew that existed?
Yeah.
But, my goodness, pay attention, man. Good thing you had service.
Okay.
But I'm Paul. I heard you guys wanted to hear a little bit about my story, or...
Well, we did want to hear a bit about your story, including us. I have some questions.
Yeah.
One of them is, what did you do before your current occupation?
So my current occupation, I don't know how much they've told you so far. My current occupation right now, I'm a preacher, a pastor. I tell people about Jesus. I want people to know who Jesus is. And what I was doing before is I just had a lot of frustration and anger with people. I was kind of driven on what I wanted to do. I was not following God in that way. Definitely.
Alright.
So what could have changed you in this way?
Oh man, let me tell you what happened. So, I was on my way to this place called Damascus. Alright? I was at this place called Damascus. Awesome place, good falafels, man. This little place there, great falafels, get them. But I was on my way. I was really frustrated. I was on my way to get these people that follow Jesus. I was like, I don't want these people around. I was on my way to get them and throw them in jail. And as I was headed there, guess who meets me?
A donkey.
No, that was weird.
Yeah.
But Jesus, literally Jesus came and met me in the middle of that road and radically changed my life. He said to me, he's like, why are you persecuting me? And then at that moment, I knew that Jesus was real. And my life was radically changed. I went from someone that sought to imprison and kill Christians to becoming now, this is what I do, I tell people about Jesus. And let me just think, like, my life is radically changed. And I know that there's no other purpose to live but to know Jesus and make him known. Like, I've had a lot of hurt in my life. I've done a lot of dumb things. I've said stupid things. I don't know if you guys have ever had, but pretty much everybody has. And I had a lot of things that we'd call sin. But Jesus said, hey, I've come to die for you and forgive you and give you new life and change you. And let me tell you, from my personal life, that's 100% true. My life has been changed.
Well, thank you for that interview, sir. I'm sure that our viewers can just be impacted by that, and hopefully they can learn a little bit or two about you on their own if they wanted to. So
Well, yeah.
that was a fantastic interview, sir, and we hope to see you again. Hopefully Joseph does not get lost this time.
Yes, I would love to talk to you guys again sometime, or join me sometime. I'm always traveling. I'm always going around places, talking to people about Jesus, and just praying with people, and I always find good falafel places to eat.
And I heard you were in a book recently.
I am in a book, all right?
Nice.
And the book is called the Bible.
Okay.
All right?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I've heard it's a New York Times bestseller.
It actually is.
Yeah.
And so, I made to tell a little bit about my story. If you want to know a little bit more about my story, you can read this book called Acts in there. It tells me a little bit about what happened to me. Acts chapter 9. It tells what happened to me, how God changed my life. I wanted that written down so people could understand. So I encourage people to check it out. All right. And I wrote some different letters to different people there. So check it out.
It is a fantastic book. I'd recommend all of you read it.
Yeah,
Yes.
check it out. But thank you guys for interviewing me, and I hope you guys have a good day.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the interview. That was a great interview with Paul. Honestly, I thought it was just purely inspirational. What did you think of it, Joseph?
I think if God can save Paul, then he can definitely save you.
That is true. God really just can't save anyone if he was able to even save Paul. And I was reading part of the Bible, and one of the things Paul wrote was part of Romans 5:8, in which he said, God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we are still sinners, Christ died for us. And that's just truly, because God really can save you. He died for us when we were sinners. He'll honestly save anyone who just comes to him. So I think that was a great message for today, and overall, thank you for watching today's episode. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask them, and we will answer them next episode.
Yes.